Here's my realistic day as a stay-at-home mom and artist while homeschooling my 5-year-old with a 5-month-old baby. And there you have it. Just kidding. Let's rewind a little bit back to the beginning of the day. Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm an architectural designer that has officially given up the 9 to 5, and now I spend a lot of my time at home with my husband, my 5-year-old, and my 5-month-old. I'm starting to focus on my art and painting again, and I'm doing that while homeschooling my 5-year-old daughter. So today I'm going to take you along and show you what a homeschool day with us could look like. I say could because every day is so different. Usually, we try to put homeschool first above everything else after we've eaten breakfast because my daughter seems to be able to focus the best at that time. But sometimes I put my art first. Today isn't one of those days. It's summer here and it gets so hot out by the afternoon, so today we're going to try to get outside earlier before it gets too hot out. The water's not on?
My pencils! All my pencils! Mommy, all my pencils fell out.
We live pretty close to a nice park by our house, so we decided to go for a walk, get out and get some fresh air, see some nature, and try and sketch a little bit. With the baby though, this can always be tricky. She hasn't been a fan of baby carriers, and it was only recently that she hasn't minded the stroller. But I figured we might as well get out and try to have a decent walk before the potential baby meltdown.
Do you see my face on the camera? I don't see your face, but I see you. Yeah.
Once we're back home and we've eaten lunch, we'll try and get our homeschool work done for the day. My daughter's 5 years old and will be starting kindergarten this fall if she were doing the traditional school route. But because she turned 6 in early October, so she's always been one of the older kids in class, and her teachers have always told us that she seems more advanced for her age, we decided to start homeschooling now rather than wait. When we decided to take her out of public school, I originally didn't plan on starting to teach her until the fall like the other kids. After thinking it over, we figured it made more sense to start sooner rather than later. It made more sense to try to get her used to learning at home rather than forcing it all at once in the fall. It also has given me more time to understand the curriculum we chose and how it works for us as a family. We also decided to start now because we think it makes sense just to do homeschool year-round. Because we have a year-round approach, it helps when life happens, like a fussy baby for instance. And some days we just don't get around to homeschooling. Other days it's 5 days a week and we get work for multiple days done. If we continue this approach, my daughter will be done with kindergarten around November or December of this year. We're not in a rush to move her up to a more advanced work, but I do think if she can do more advanced work, then why not let her do it? So for our kindergarten curriculum, we're currently using The Good and the Beautiful. It's a kind of grab-and-go style learning, so it doesn't require any pre-planning for the day. You just open the book to the current lesson you're on and it explains what needs to be done for the lesson. We mainly focus on language arts and math every day, and once a week we do a science lesson. We always do language arts first because this is where she's learning to read and write. We start off with a few handwriting practice pages, then move on to cards that the curriculum also provides that help her gain a broader reading vocabulary. There's a small book that we'll read that generally goes hand in hand with the cards, and then we'll do 1 or 2 language arts lessons for the day. There are 120 language arts lessons for kindergarten in this curriculum. If you did 4 lessons every week, then you'd be done in 30 weeks. That's what I mean when I say we'll be done with kindergarten around December or November of this year. I'm really liking the language arts portion though so far. She's made a lot of good progress with her reading skills already. As with the math, I do think it seems to be on the easier side for her right now. It seems like a lot of it was stuff she honestly probably knew when she was 3 years old, but we're going through all of it still because I think it teaches her a lot of good basic rules and helps set up a good foundation. When we're doing math, we'll also use addition and subtraction flashcards every now and then, which makes it slightly trickier for her. When we're doing science, we'll do just 1 lesson a week now. At first I was doing it every day, and then I realized that the curriculum was only set up for once a week. I think once a week is better honestly because it helps her absorb the information better, and we try and spend more time on each lesson, and we'll use more outside sources to stretch out the lesson a little bit more. Anyway, after we've gotten through homeschool for the day, and I've managed to either get the baby down for a nap or she's not being fussy, then I'm able to work on my own stuff for the day. This is my quote-unquote setup that I'll use so I can try and get some work done on my laptop while the baby sleeps. There, I'm usually trying to work on my YouTube stuff or setting up a reference photo for my next painting. Today, I found a little time to devote to this new oil painting I'm working on. It's been a while since I've worked with oils, and this is my first time working with water-soluble oils in particular. I found out about them after my daughter was born and figured I'd try them as an alternative to traditional oils to avoid the fumes around tiny baby lungs. This is the reference photo I made for this painting a few weeks ago. It started off from a smaller image I found on the internet, and I put it into Photoshop to scale it to the size of the canvas that I'm working on, and then photoshopped it a bunch to make it my own and make the composition just how I wanted it. Honestly, I tried not to spend too much time making the reference photo or even thinking of an idea. Sometimes it's better just to be decisive and paint something rather to deal with artist block long term and to not paint at all. After calling it quits on my painting because the baby was getting too fussy, I decided to collect some children's books that have really nice illustrations that I like. I'd like to write and illustrate my own children's books eventually, and I'm thinking of using some of these books as inspiration to help teach myself to illustrate. I'll probably make some videos about this eventually, documenting my learning process.